Glad to join our 7:30 news bulletin right here on LUNTHA TV with me, Charity Chilanga. First, a look at the top stories. President Chakwera assures workers of conducive working environment and better salaries. Civil society organizations stand ground. Reject makes use of Smartmatic ahead of Friday meeting. And in international news, Ramaphosa orders inquiry into arrest ANC era obstruction of apartheid crime props. We do have the details to these and many other stories. Stay tuned. The upcoming conclave scheduled to start on May 7th will make history as the first papal election involving over 120 cardinal electors. In total, 133 cardinals are expected to take part in choosing the successor to Pope Francis. More details in this Vatican News report read by Herbert Katanda.
While the Apostolic Constitution, Universe Dominic Grex, sets a cap of 120 voting cardinals, the number of electors in the college has often gone beyond this threshold. Recent pontiffs, Pope John Paul II, Pope Benedict XVI, and Pope Francis have all appointed cardinals in excess of the prescribed limit. In a recent statement, the College of Cardinals affirmed that all 133 eligible electors have the right to vote in the conclave, noting that Pope Francis effectively waived the UDG restriction by exceeding the limit during his appointments. UDG states that any cardinal not canonically removed or who has not voluntarily resigned the cardinalate with papal approval is permitted to participate in the papal election.
Young Christian workers in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe took to the streets to clean the city as part of their celebrations of International Labour Day. The initiative was aimed at promoting environmental care and taking a lead role in protecting God's creation. According to Father Jean Casey, the chaplain of youth Christian workers in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, human beings have a duty to take care of God's creation, hence the cleaning exercise. Emmanuel Jocha with the details.
The environment consists of natural elements such as air, water, soil, plants, and animals, physical factors like temperature, light, and climate, human-made structures including buildings, roads, bridges, and other infrastructures. Father Casey emphasized that caring for the environment should be an everyday activity, not just a one-day event. In an interview, Father Casey mentioned that the late Pope Francis' encyclical Laudato Si encourages human beings to care for the environment. The youth are the leaders of today, and it's essential they take this responsibility seriously.
To be the first one to take care by removing one leaf of paper or bottle on the street, we are taking care of the universe. And this is our message for all Malawian and for all youth in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe.
The cleansing supervisor of Lilongwe City Council, Grant Kunyamba, commended YCW members of Lilongwe Archdiocese for cleaning the capital city. It's a large city, and we appreciate.
So today, I appreciate what these young Christians have done. There's an impact because we have seen they have cleaned from Timawera Parish to Maula Parish.
Patrick Maire, chairperson of Young Christian Workers in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, urged the youth in the country to always ensure that their communities are clean. A clean city attracts tourists, and cleanliness is next to God's, he emphasized.
So this is one of our initiatives as the youth, young Christian workers in the Archdiocese, to make sure that our cities are clean. We are living in a clean environment, because the clean environment, it means also we are living in the clean area where we can do our several things easily.
The Young Christian Workers movement, founded by Joseph Ikadin in Belgium in 1924, aims to draw members closer to God, foster unity and development leadership. With their motto, See, Judge, Act, the YCW empowers young workers to make a positive impact in their communities. For LUNTHA News, this is Emmanuel Jocha.
President Lazarus Chakwera has reassured workers of conducive working environment and better salaries. Dr. Chakwera was speaking on Thursday at Balaka Stadium during this year's International Labour Day commemorations held under the theme Democracy that Works for Decent Work for All. The Malawi leader says he is aware of some challenges that workers face, but said his government will make sure workers are protected under the guidelines that employers are bound to follow. Andrew Nandolo has compiled a report read in our studios by Jean Ngalande Bernard.
Every 1st May is International Labour Day. This year, Malawi joined the rest of the world in commemorating the day by, among others, establishing labor-related guidelines and awarding certificates to companies and organizations that they have performed well. Chakwera said many people in this country are self-employed or working for a company, hence it is crucial for government to protect these workers, hence they drive the economy of the country.
Pankhani ya chitetezo panchito komanso pankhani yokwezeredwa malipiro awo.
In his remarks, Charles Kunchenga, who is the president of Malawi Congress of Trade Union, asked the president to intervene on the issues of minimum salary for the workers and make sure that the employers remit deducted money to relevant remitting companies. Kunchenga said it is pathetic to see an employer giving low wages to an employee, yet there are guidelines running the same.
On the issue of minimum wage, we wanted just to indicate that we are not satisfied with the current minimum wage. So we are pleading with the president that the minimum wage has to be adjusted upwards.
During the function that started with a big walk from St. Louis Montford Mponda Primary School, President Lazarus Chakwera awarded certificates to Gaseo Malawi for compliance with the labor laws and Standard Bank as the best employer in the country respectively, and River Bockham Trust has been awarded the certificate of the best on quality services and innovation.
Hope Kambeta reading a report filed by Andrew Nandolo. The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has developed a comprehensive election dispute resolution (EDR) framework to enhance the management and resolution of electoral complaints, petitions and disputes ahead of the 2025 general election. Speaking during a press briefing on Wednesday in Lilongwe, MEC Chairperson Justice Annabel Mtalimanja said the framework aims to strengthen Malawi's electoral dispute resolution mechanism, ensuring they are effective, functional and responsive to electoral realities. Fales Chizombe reading a report filed by Tandiwe Mzumara.
The framework, according to Mtalimanja, incorporates both mechanisms provided for under electoral laws and alternative dispute resolution methods, promoting efficiency and flexibility in resolving disputes. She added that the MEC will collaborate with other relevant institutions to resolve disputes beyond its jurisdiction, ensuring that all electoral grievances are effectively addressed. She said the Commission remains committed to transparency and stakeholder engagement, encouraging leaders to seek clarification directly from the MEC whenever in doubt. Mtalimanja has since urged political leaders and social media influencers to exercise caution and responsibility in their public statements relating to the electoral process. The MEC chairperson has also encouraged all stakeholders to engage constructively, communicate responsibly, and uphold the value that bind the nation together. The development of the EDR framework is a significant step towards promoting electoral integrity and stability in Malawi. By working together, the MEC and the stakeholders can ensure that the 2025 general election is conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner.
You're watching news on LUNTHA Television. We'll be back after this short break. just joined us, I know that you're watching news on LUNTHA television. Now a reminder of the top stories. Historic conclave to begin May 7th with a record 133 cardinals electing Pope Francis' successor. President Chakwera assures workers of conducive working environment and better salaries. Civil society organizations stand ground. Reject makes use of Smartmatic ahead of Friday meeting. And in international news, Ramaphosa orders inquiry into alleged ANC-era obstruction of apartheid crime props. Moving on with the news, civil society organizations are standing firm on their demands, including a call for the Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) to abandon the use of the Smartmatic electoral management system. This was emphasized by Economic Freedom Movement Executive Director Joseph Pesh, whose organization is among those invited to engage with MEC on concerns surrounding the electoral process. According to MEC's invitation, the interface meeting is scheduled for Friday. Robert Edward has filed a report read in our studios by Bridget Mwanoka.
With just 338 days remaining until the September 16th, 2025 elections, concerns continue to mount over the Malawi Electoral Commission makes use of the Smartmatic electoral management system, which has come under scrutiny due to its reportedly questionable track record. On April 28th, a coalition of civil society organizations submitted a letter to MEC demanding that the Commission address several issues within 7 days. These include missing names on the voters' roll, misallocated polling centers, and what the coalition described as unexplained commissions. Operating under the Civil Society Organizations Coalition banner, the groups strongly warned MEC against actions that could be seen as straying from constitutional and democratic principles. However, they also expressed readiness to support the Commission in promoting truth, justice, and transparency. In response to this, MEC's Chief Elections Officer Andrew Mpesi has invited the organizations to a dialogue session scheduled for Friday. According to the invitation, the meeting aims to clarify the concerns raised and build mutual understanding as the country heads toward the general elections.
The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Madalitso Kambawa Wirima, has pledged to improve the welfare of teachers on Nikoma and Chisomola Islands. During her inspection visit to the islands, Wirima committed to addressing the challenges faced by teachers, particularly regarding transportation. Her ministry plans to provide a hardship allowance to support teachers in accessing resources and social services from the mainland. More in this report compiled by Gift Kalonga.
Wirima inspected several projects, including new classroom blocks at St. Peter's Primary School, an ICT laboratory and library at Chizumu Community Day Secondary School, and the renovation of Likoma Secondary School. During her inspection of these school projects in the area, she promised that her ministry will work towards improving the welfare of teachers.
Where teachers can now use for their development, for issues to do with their development in their own space without taking away a classroom from students, that a classroom that they also need. So very happy that, just like I said, that the different kind of infrastructures that are taking place that are actually uplifting.
The Member of Parliament for Likoma constituency, Ashim Songwe, expressed gratitude for Minister's visit and hope that her administration would address the area's challenges. Songwe noted that the government under Lazarus Makafe Chakwera is focused on improving education standards nationwide.
The quality of education, as you know, Likoma recently has been in the top 5 in terms of quantity, the highest passing rate. But when it comes to the assessment based on quality, that is number of pupils going to the national secondary schools. And
given the geographical challenges faced by Likoma and Chizumu Islands, which often result in limited access to social services, the minister's pledge is seen as a positive step towards supporting the local community. For LUNTHA News, this is Gift Kalonga.
sports, the Football Association of Malawi FAM has formally charged the Clerk Sporting Club and 3 of its players, Mila Gabea, Joe Chaumba and Haji Wali, for misconduct during the 2025 Zamadolo Airtel Top 8 quarter-final crash against FCB Nyasa Big Bullets held on April 26th at Nankaka Stadium. The players are accused of committing assault and breaching the competition's rules and regulations. Patrick Pupa has more in this report.
The Football Association of Malawi FAM has charged Clerk Sporting Club for failing to control its players during the Zamadolo Airtel Top 8 match against FCB Nyasa Big Bullets on April 26, 2025 at Nankaka Stadium. The charges stem from a series of violent incidents, including Mirawo Gabea allegedly stepping on Babatunde's Adepojo's hand, Hajiwali reportedly stepping on Gaston Podo's hand and leg, and George Jaumba elbowing Henry Chiwaya. Clerk Sporting Club chairperson Muhammad Selemani has confirmed receipts on the charges and assured that appropriate action will be taken.
We know that football is all about fair play. When we sit down, look at the footages, and then have a position, we'll definitely take an appropriate action.
Sports analyst Pare Chinyama has commended the Football Association Malawi for its disciplinary stance, highlighting the need for players to uphold sportsmanship and discipline on the pitch. He also warned other players to avoid such unsporting behavior.
We need to give a wrong signal to the football fraternity because they normally delay in actually acting on such things. So now that they've done it in good time, we are expecting that they will also come up with a very strong verdict to reprimand all these players that have done the unsportsmanship.
Following their one defeat to FCB Nyasa Big Bullets, Clerk Sporting Club has 48 hours to respond to the charges. Following their one defeat to FCB Nyasa Big Bullets, Clerk Sporting Club has 48 hours to respond to the charges. Football Association Malawi is expected to release a final determination once the investigation into the alleged assaults concludes. For LUNTHA News, this is Patrick Pupa.
And in international news, the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has established a judicial commission of inquiry to examine claims that past African National Congress-led administrations deliberately hindered investigations and prosecutions related to crimes committed during apartheid. The decision follows a lawsuit filed in January by 25 survivors and families of victims demanding compensation for unresolved murders, disappearances, and other atrocities from that period. More details in this African News report read by Herbert Katanda.
The inquiry will investigate claims of undue interference that may have delayed or obstructed efforts to pursue justice. Successive ANC-led administrations have been criticized for emphasizing national unity at the expense of accountability for apartheid-era abuses. Among the many unresolved cases is that of the Craddock, 4 black anti-apartheid activists who were abducted and killed by security forces in 1985. The investigation stems from a stalemate. The January lawsuit. President Ramaphosa's office acknowledged the pain and frustration endured by families who have long sought justice, while the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, launched in 1996, played a vital role in uncovering apartheid-era crimes. The failure to prosecute perpetrators remains a source of deep dissatisfaction.
That also brings us to the end of our today's edition of news, but let's have a recap of the top stories before we go. Historic conclave to begin May 7th with a record 133 cardinals electing Pope Francis' successor. President Chakwera assures workers of conducive working environment and better salaries. Civil society organizations stand ground, reject makes use of Smartmatic ahead of Friday meeting. And in international news, Ramaphosa orders inquiry into alleged ANC era obstruction of apartheid crime props. You've been with me, Charide Shalanga. Thanks so much for giving me company and continue enjoying the rest of our programs right here on LUNTHA TV. Goodbye.